I had one of my subscribers ask me, how safe is Mindanao? So I decided to do a video about the Philippines. This is more about foreigners coming here to the Philippines than about resident Filipinos. So this is titled, Are Philippines Safe to Visit? Philippines is a beautiful beach destination that is somehow still off the beaten path for travelers, even those experienced on the Southeast Asian backpacker circuit. The Philippines contains around 7,600 islands, with only 2,000 of those inhabited. The country has a lot more to offer than just beaches. The Philippines is massive, so just like any other country, it depends on where you go whether it's safe or not. There are areas that are prone to civil unrest, such as Mindanao, where lies Davao City, and the Sulu archipelago, where foreigners shouldn't go at all. Most of the country is fairly insulated from violence, and the macro trend crime rate was 4.41%. However, the same website gave the USA a 5.07%, showing the Philippines safer than the USA. Common safety concerns: petty theft and pickpocketing, scams, armed robbery, kidnapping, terrorism. It's more important to have some situational awareness wherever you are. The response to crime rate is sometimes more dangerous than the criminals themselves. To eliminate drug trafficking through they had at one time it was called the death squad. They would round up the criminals, and instead of just incarcerating them, they would go ahead and eliminate them off the face of the earth. Tourists are usually victims of pickpocketing, scams. Terrorism is usually confined to one region, but violence can be random, and the same is true for any country in the world, including the US and Western Europe. Theft is by far theft is the most common crime that foreigners have to keep in mind. The robbery rate is 15.3 incidents for 100,000 people, which is relatively high. The most common type of robbery is pickpocketing and crowded terrorist hubs, as well as popular tourist destination. Pickpocketing is pretty much common in the world where tourists congregate. You can take basic steps to protect yourself. Most travelers know what to do. It's really about common sense anywhere you travel in the world. Now let's talk about Mindanao. Is Mindanao safe? The unusually shaped Mindanao is a massive mountainous island in the southern Philippines, stretching nearly 300 miles north to south. It's home to Mount Apo, the tallest peak in the Philippines and the highest concentration of different ethnic minorities. This island makes its living from agriculture. The main crops are corn, rice, various fruits, and even coffee are grown here. It's the Philippines' second largest island behind Luzon. Mindanao also has its dark side. Excuse me. And even though Davao City is the safest city in the Philippines, that took a lot of work though to clean this city up from its previous leaders. There's still places that should be avoided in Mindanao. Western and central Mindanao. Avoid all travel, now this is for foreigners, to the following province due to the serious threat of terrorism, kidnapping, high levels of crime, and violent clashing between security forces and rebel groups. Now I'm not going to say these names right, so I hope I'm close so you know what I mean. Bangsamoro, the Autonomous Region, and Muslim Mindanao. Llano del Sur, Manandinan, I'll skip over that one. Bukidnon, Camiguin, Llano del Norte, Misamis Occidental, Misamis Oriental, Sakuskatchewan, Cotabato, Sarangani, South Cotabato, Sultan Kudarat, Zimbabwe Peninsula, Zimbabwe del Norte, Zimbabwe del Sur, Zimbabwe Subagay. I know I slaughtered those names. I hope you get the gist of what I was trying to say. Many of these places I've traveled to alone, and I got some really funny looks from the people and security forces. A lot of these places, there was Marines, National Police, and Army checkpoints about every kilometer. They were in full combat gear and bunkers. At that time, I didn't know that I shouldn't be there, but I found out soon afterward. There are risks of terrorist attacks and kidnapping in all of Mindanao, but more critical in the regions I previously mentioned. Bombs causing death and destruction have occurred in Cotabato, General Santos City, Isabela, Kitapuan, Zimbabwe. Clashes occur between insurgent groups on security forces. Insurgents also have kidnapped several foreigners in this region. Innocent bystanders have been occasionally taken hostage. Local authorities have declared an indefinite state of emergency on occasion on the account of lawlessness, violence in Mindanao. Security forces have increased rights to search and seizure and detain persons of interest. Some civil rights may be suspended and curfew imposed without notice. With all this said, the Philippines is still safer than the USA. The Philippines ranked 16 points higher on the safety index. All the negatives I mentioned here only exist in a small region of the Philippines, but persist in every major city in the USA. You don't have the school shootings and things here like you do in the USA, and the mass shootings that go on frequently in the USA. This is just between extremist rebel groups here. I feel safer here, and I think you would too. Until next time, have a good one, be safe, and mahau ku ka you.